So when did you get the idea for doing this?
I think, in all honesty, I'm passionate about golf. I think everyone knows I'm passionate about golf. And lots of people that I deal with, customers, suppliers, have that same passion. So I wanted to do something to kind of thank a lot of my customers, some of my suppliers, some of my friends, if I'm honest, and offer them something a little bit different.
What is happening in September, and why is it going to be different?
So in September, we've invited kind of a fairly niche amount of number of people to Blackwell Golf Club. We'll talk about Blackwell in a minute. But we've invited them to Blackwell to play golf. We're going to try and offer them something slightly different from the usual corporate golf that we've all been to. It's not about rocking up to, and no disrespect to the likes of Belfry or down in Gloucestershire, Brickhampton Golf Club. I want to offer them something which is a bit more of a networking experience, where it's not just about 18 holes, whizzing around in a buggy and running off home again. It's an opportunity for some like-minded people within the business community who love golf to see something a bit different.
Who are you raising money for?
So I don't want to get emotional when I talk about this, if I'm honest. So last December, I went to a dinner in Cheltenham, and two ladies stood up, one who works for a company called Hope for Tomorrow. Now, for somebody who's had a parent who has had cancer, drama's not the right word, the stress that I watched my mother go through, and it was my dad who had cancer, by the way, my mother go through, where she had to commute my father from a rural location to a city. Stress, that was more stressful than the 45-minute treatment that he was going for. And I went to a dinner in December and I listened to two ladies talk about this. A lady that lived in a rural location, she had to almost take half a day's holiday to drive up the M5 to commute into Cheltenham, or drive into Cheltenham, to the stress of parking at Cheltenham General Hospital to go and get cancer treatment. And then at the end of that cancer treatment, reverse and go back home again. And so what Hope for Tomorrow do is they take the care to the patient. So you might see it, and I hope you do, big lorries parked up in Tesco's car park. And now we're in a position where take the care to the community, that person that needs cancer treatment, rather than doing what I've just described, during the lunch break, goes and sees the doctor, the nurses who can give that cancer treatment in the back of a lorry in Tesco's. And that sounds very simplistic, but what a difference that makes. And I think there's now 13 lorries around the UK. None of it's NHS funded. So yeah, if I can do a tiny little bit, that'd be great.
And it's making a massive difference, I'm guessing, to a lot of the people's lives. I mean, that's when, my wife's father's got suffering with cancer at the moment. And like you say, the ordeal of getting to different hospitals, different consultants, different treatments is enormous.
Yeah, and to be able to go and just over the lunch break with a sandwich and a cup of tea, go and see a familiar doctor, a familiar nurse, just get it done with, and then crack on with your normal day without the stress of parking and commuting. And yeah, the lady in particular that I met in December, the stress, just I drove up here, I don't think anything of it. It's an easy journey. Don't think anything of it. Get in the car and off I go. But not everybody does that.
When you're poorly, it's a small journey is actually very significant, and I think that's a massive thing. Are you hoping to raise quite a bit of money for these guys?
I hope so.
Are they an official charity of Square One?
Yeah, so we've taken them on as a kind of an official role. We've done a few things for them this year. I attended their golf day. So 3 of the people that are going to be at this event were with me, watching me top it round Minchinhampton a few weeks ago. And I did top it round Minchinhampton. So we helped raise a few quid for that. We've done some coffee mornings at work. And then whenever we can, we'll do our little bit to try and raise a few bits and pieces. Some of the people that work with me have been on some charity walks, and long may that continue.
When did you first go to Blackwell?
3.5 years ago, I think.
Right. Okay. So you thought Blackwell would be a good place to have this day?
I think Blackwell was a no-brainer for this day.
Yeah. I should probably say, shouldn't I? I mean, I mean, we're lucky. We've sort of known each other for a few years as our business has evolved. So Cookie Jar Golf is, I guess, a small independent media business. Growing rapidly, but maybe not as rapidly as one would always like. And you guys are now official telecoms partners.
We are.
So I don't think we rank highly among your most important clients. But the value we place in, obviously we've been friends for a few years before, but then just the difference in coming into square one as our business has matured, needing different phone contracts, different telephony solutions. I remember being out in America at the start of the year. It's all these things that you take for granted, that the second something like that is taken away from you, particularly a business like ours, it brings you to your knees immediately if you haven't got access to phone, internet, all the different things you need on the move. And the value in having Lisa at square one that you can pick up the phone to and say, look, I'm in Atlanta, it's 4 a.m, I'm jet lagged and I've got stuff that clients are badgering us for. I really need to get back up and running here. And it's just done within half an hour. There's no need to contact EE. There's no need to jump through hoops. And it's literally it's no different than what we're paying you guys versus what we'd be paying EE. It's a great solution. So no, really happy with that. I think, from my point of view, I've played my golf at Blackwell since I was, I think 7. So I've been there for over 30 years now. And it remains the only course that I would be happy to play for the rest of my life, every single day. I think it's infinitely varied, it's taxing on the brain, and it's easy on the legs. And I think your guys are going to have a great day there. I mean, look, the club, just like many clubs in the country, were formed sort of mid-1890s. But the course that you'll see today is a Tom Simpson and Herbert Fowler course. And Tom Simpson, as a golf course designer, as a course architect, his name is associated with some of the great courses, particularly in France and the UK. Montfontaine would be regarded as, one of golf's Sistine Chapels, I guess, really. Fontainebleau, another sort of great design of his work at places like Cruden Bay and County Louth or Baltray in Ireland. These are some of the great courses. And Blackwell's always been on a very small piece of land, which is why it's so great. You've never been able to change it. So, we're pretty lucky in having quite a small membership, I guess. We have less than about 180 members. And it's just an intimate place. When you go there, it just feels like home.
And I think you've just used a phrase that describes it all. It's an intimate affair. I want to bring together some like-minded people where I don't feel I have to control proceedings. They're going to come up and they're just going to get on with one another. They're going to network, they're going to make some great people. And that intimate offering that Blackwell brings to the table is unlike many other places I've been to. And trust me, I've played a bit of golf.
Yeah, and there's a few, probably a few teasers, but I mean, some of the golf courses, the golf course is fabulous. And some of the holes I play is just, I think, amazing. You just have to have a real appreciation for what was built 100 years ago. But in the clubhouse is good, the spike bar, the customary port and brandies before you tee off, I think, it's a pretty unique little concoction.
I think a little smile came across my face as you just talked on that, and I think most people who are coming to this golf day, who know me, know that golf isn't just about hitting a little white ball. It's the whole thing that comes around that. And that's why Blackwell kind of ticks that box, really. There'll be no rush. We'll have a couple of port and brandies before we tee off, no doubt, for those who want to. We'll stop everyone at the halfway house. I think last time I was at Blackwell, we had Pimm's on tap, which didn't go unnoticed. For those who maybe aren't familiar with other drinks, such as, in fact, Blackwell introduced me to Gunners.
Yeah, Gunner's a great drink, great golf club drink. I think it's just a very traditional club, isn't it? Yeah. And I think, what you're trying to do with what is a slightly remodeled corporate golf day, which is putting a bit more emphasis on the golf and making it feel like, do you know what, a small, intimate crowd who really get the traditions and the better things in this game is so rewarding. So, you can have a blast, mate. In terms of what you're doing on the day, is it going to be a big raffle or big sort of charity auction?
Yeah, I'm going to get a couple of Square One people up there to help and support with selling raffle tickets. You mentioned Lisa, so she'll be making sure people part with cash. That's a non-negotiable, by the way. We'll do a raffle. I've had some tremendous offers already for some people to help and support. And we're not too bothered about things like longest drives, nearest pins. It's not that sort of day. We're going to raise a few quid, but we're going to have a good time doing it. So,
who's contributed to the prizes?
well, we'll share. So Declan Healy, who's head of all things golf and operational at Rushmore Golf Course, he's given me, I think, a 4-ball with a bit of breakfast and a few other bits and pieces. So that's nice. Our friends at Sounder are always very generous when these sort of things happen. So whether we do some goodie bags or some clothing vouchers or some balls, the guys at Sounder are always going to help us out. Our biggest supplier, Geocom, they're like, whatever you need, Dave. So I have a funny feeling the guys, Wilf and the team at Geocom, are sending me some iPhones, some tablets, these sort of things, which is very, very, very great of them. Somebody through the industry, I'm not going to name drop them, I don't want to embarrass them, but they're a member at Muirfield. So
there's been some good stuff up for grabs as well.
Yeah, I've got we're going to take somebody or a couple of people up to Muirfield. I might have to go as a host.
It's a shame.
I might have to go for the
Never
lunch.
off the clock, are you?
No.
You're always working. That's
always
the problem.
working.
You're just committed to the course.
So big thanks out to everybody who's helping with those sort of prizes. They don't. It's very generous.
Yeah, like hopefully we can support the charity in some way.
Well, How can we do that, Sam? What can we do together?
We can certainly raffle off some golf. I'd have thought something like that. I'm sure you'll announce more on the day, but look, I'm delighted you're coming there for us. You're our telecoms partner and a very good friend as well. So look, it's going to be a blast, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day.